Hi, I'm William Thomas.
And I'm Edward Hudgens, and this is the Atlas Society State of the Culture Update. Today's topic is the essential iron fist of the left liberal. Now, Will, in recent weeks, we've seen the ugly aspect of the left liberal mindset on display. Actor Sean Penn, for example, is urging President Obama to issue executive order to have Republican Senator Ted Cruz and many of the Tea Party leaders seized and thrown into mental hospitals.
I think, let's go to the Tea Party influence on Congress on this thing. I think there's a mental health problem in Congress. This would be solved by committing them by executive order, I think, because these are our American brothers and sisters. We shouldn't be criticizing them, attacking them. We should this is a cry for help.
We literally commit what?
I think
people like Ted Cruz?
He's my American brother. We think we should take care of him. He's in trouble.
Well, actually have him committed.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea.
Doesn't he realize that was the favorite punishment used by the Soviet communists against dissidents?
Yeah, look, you might just say that Penn is a nut. I mean, after all, he was a big fan of the late Venezuelan strongman thug Hugo Chavez, who specialized in jailing his critics. But Penn isn't the only liberal leftist pushing authoritarianism. There's a petition on MoveOn.org, which is the top liberal website, that garnered 55,000 signatures calling for the arrest of Republican leaders like Eric Cantor and John Boehner. And the petition charged them with the crime of seditious conspiracy because they threatened the U.S. economy with default by shutting it down and shutting down the federal government in order to block Obamacare. And here's another one. Democrat Representative Sheila Jackson Lee suggested that the government might be opened very swiftly during the shutdown. She said, "We have martial law, and which could allow a bill to be put on in just minutes." Martial law.
We have martial law. What that means, and my colleagues know what it means, is that you can put a bill on in just minutes.
Incredible. But some people might think these are fringe sentiments, but I mean, we just need to look at how the Obama administration does business. For example, in the financial crisis, when Chrysler went bankrupt, the Obama cronies threatened government retaliation against investors. I mean, in bankruptcy law, there are rules about who gets priority, and there were certain investors who deserved preferred treatment in a bankruptcy process. But the Obama administration didn't care. They just forced them to accept the kind of bankruptcy settlement that the Obama administration wanted. And under the Obama administration, the IRS has blocked the tax-exempt status of groups that were perceived to be their enemies. And, it really reminds you of Nixon. Mm-hmm. Some opponents have even found themselves the subject of special IRS audits. And under Obama, the government security apparatus goes around harassing supporters who are perceived as being hostile to the one. Mm-hmm. And under Obama, insurance companies that reveal how many people will lose insurance because of Obamacare have been threatened with regulatory retaliation. But there's nothing in the regulations that says they can do that. And in fact, all this just shows a readiness to use unconstrained force. And this is not an incidental aspect of the political ideology of the left. It's an essential element of what they believe.
Look, that's right. It used to not be this way. American liberals in the past often premised their ideology on the notion of helping the individual to live well and to live better. The old-time liberals wanted the social safety net, sure. They wanted the government to stabilize the economy, prevent what they considered to be market failures, perhaps intervening with antitrust laws and such. But their basic goal was still to enable people to flourish.
Yeah, that may be so, Ed, but in economic affairs, I have to say, I think the left has really always been committed to a socialist ideal of the government dominating practical affairs, at least since the 1960s. But despite this, I think it is true that in the past, the left liberal politicians could pose as supporters of the democratic process.
Pose
as, and that's because that process and the political compromise over time produced growing welfare entitlements and wealth distribution that they wanted and more regulation that they wanted, chipping away at individual liberty without showing that they were betraying the fundamental ideal of liberalism.
Look, that's right. But now resistance to the welfare state and demands for a return of liberty to individuals are growing. And what you see then is that the leftist liberal politicians are flailing about, using government force and intimidation whenever they can get away with it in order to keep power in their own hands. Look, the iron fist is essential to the mindset and the ideology of left liberal elitists. People who support the ideals of the old-fashioned American liberal, the ideals of a society of flourishing individuals, need to ask themselves, do they really stand for authoritarianism and arbitrary government power? Because that is what the leaders of the left are actually promoting. That's what government control of the economy necessarily entails.
This has been an Atlas Society State of the Culture update. We thank you for watching.